All right, guys, this is module number 3. Module number 3 is killing the spending leaks. Now, guys, I need you guys to stick with me here. And first of all, let me commend you for making it this far. If you made it this far, that means that you are really serious about your financial journey and how to get on the right side of spending habits, budgeting, and getting to being able to invest at a rapid pace. But we have to take a couple steps first before we get to the nice shiny things that we want to do. So we have to identify the spending leaks. And what I mean by that is, what type of spender are you? Are you an impulse buyer? Are you a shopper for convenience? What is a need versus a want? And in order for you to get to the other side of your financial um, challenges, I'll say, is we need to identify what type of person we are. Are you an emotional spender? So when you normally go off the deep end or you normally overspend, when does that normally happen? Does that normally happen when you get into an argument with your spouse? Does that normally happen when a family member or a friend passes away? When does that normally happen for you? And we have to identify what those triggers are to get us to the other side. So what we need to do is first identify what is a need and what is a want, right? Because those are budget killers, and those are leaks or holes in our boat that can potentially drown us. And what we're trying to do here is we're trying to identify those things. So once we know what those enemies are, then we can attack them head on. So when we're building our budget, when we're setting our budget up, we need to know what is a need versus a want. And when I'm doing my needs versus wants, it's what is taking care of my four walls, right? My four walls, my home, what's taking care of me being able to eat, me having the ability to make money, and me being able to provide for my family. Like not the nice to haves, but bare necessities, right? And so once we identify those things, then that's when we can know what a want is. So a want may be going to the mall. A want may be going out to dinner or going out to a restaurant when you know you can't necessarily afford it. A nice thing to have or a want may be a vacation. So again, we have to identify what those things are in our lives. So therefore, we know exactly how to attack them. And moving on to you being an impulse buyer, what I would do is institute a no spending for 24 hours once that feeling comes. So once I had the feeling of, oh, I need to buy that thing, we need to sit and think, do I really need this thing? Sit on it for 24 hours. And after the 24 hours is over, then we say to ourselves, hey, you know what? Maybe I don't need that thing. Or hey, maybe that thing wasn't a necessity. So when we're talking about needs versus wants, we need to identify again, if is it taking care of my four walls, is it taking care of my family, is it taking care of my ability to eat or to make money. And if it does not identify with that, then first of all, we need to write those things down. Put them somewhere where you can see it, because we need those constant reminders of, if this thing that I want or feel like is a need does not identify with what I had already wrote down, then I do not need this thing, because these are the holes in your boat that will sink you. And before we can build wealth, before we can start investing at a rapid pace in our businesses or stock market or real estate or whatever vehicle that we're going to use, we need to know what those things are, so then we can cut down on them, so we can dump them on our debts. So therefore, we're going to have more money to make that money make you more money. And that's exactly why we are building this budget. So when we're building our budget, so all of these modules that you're going through all lead to you building your budget and building your best life. And what I want to remind you is when you're setting up your budget, it does not mean that you cannot spend money. It doesn't mean that. You are giving yourself permission to spend money. And once the budget is locked in for the month, then the hope is that we do not change things. And if we do need to change things, then we need to take from one category, one line item, and then take it from one line item to then put it back into another where we need the money. And in a few modules from now, we're actually going to build a budget so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. But first, before we actually build the budget, we need to know and we need to identify where the leaks are. What's a necessity? What's a need versus a want? And what type of shopper, or do you have a lot of impulses when you buy? And we're going to build it in our budget for those impulses. I promise you, this is going to be as painless as possible, but we are going to get you to the other side. I just need you to walk with me. But do not move to module number 4 until you identify those few things. What type of shopper are you, and what is a need in your life versus a want in your life? And what are the triggers that had you go off on the deep end to kill your account or kill your budget? So don't move on to module number 4 until you identify those things and you write them down. It is vitally important that you do this before you move on. Let's go.